Hey guys, Dino Gomez here, and welcome to another episode of Gym Authority 365, where we help small gym owners become the CEO of a wildly successful business. In today's episode, we are talking about the Wall of Triumph and what that is. All right, so now before I get into this, if you guys are watching actually on the video format here, you can see on my screen that I have a bunch of logos of gyms that we've worked with, of magazines that we've been published in, Entrepreneur Magazine, we've been on ESPN Radio. You guys that are listening, you can see that all the logos are here on the screen. So why am I showing this first and foremost before we get into this episode? Well, it's a credibility builder, right? And it's an authority builder. It gives you reason to listen and pay attention here, right? Because we're quickly establishing authority and letting you guys know that we're well known for the work that we do. Now, what's so interesting about this, right? And how we always like to intro with this is that this is called the wall, what we call the Wall of Triumph. Now, no matter what business you're in, you always need a Wall of Triumph. They come in different formats. They can come in like B-roll footage and so forth, but it's a quick, a quick way to build authority, get people to pay attention to you, build awareness, and every single brick and mortar business basically does this and/or should do this. And there's also ways to do it online as well. So what we want to talk about is how this relates to small gym owners. And the first thing we're going to do is go through a couple examples here. So what we have here is an example of a Wall of Triumph that would be in basically a doctor's office, right? You walk into a doctor's office and you're in the waiting area, and they purposely make you sit in the waiting area. And what good doctors do in that waiting area is they just plaster their walls with testimonials. If they have any celebrities or just well-known individuals in that community, they will make sure to get a testimonial from them, and they'll have that up on the wall with their photo and their background story, and sometimes a little bit of a quote. And then here's another example right from a chiropractor, and chiropractors actually do a great job of this because they normally go a little bit more in depth with their actual testimonials and testimonial walls, but they normally give you a background story of like, here's the injury that this individual had, here's how old they are, here's what their symptoms were, here's what we did to rehab them, and here's how they are today, here's how they're better today. Now that is exactly what small gym owners want to do. Is we know some small gyms, not enough small gyms, but some do before and after photos, but we need to take it a step further than just before and after photos, and we're going to get into that. Now, here's yet another example of a Wall of Triumph, and this time it's at a college university. So what I have here on the screen is we're inside the UCLA Hall of Fame, UCLA Bruins, and basically they have hundreds, it looks like 100 at least, championship trophies from all their different Division I sports teams. Now you can bet that the coaches that are recruiting student athletes to the university, you can guarantee that on that recruiting trip, they walk these prospective student athletes through this Hall of Champions, right? And they go, hey, look at all the championships, NCAA championships that UCLA Bruins have won. We're just a school of excellence. So it's immediately building credibility and authority. So college and professional sports teams do that very well. Now what we're looking at is basically a Wall of Triumph for what would be a gym, and this is just a singular photo, a before and after photo of a guy. He looks like he's about 31 years old. Now, here's what we want to talk about, guys, is that it's really important for your small gym to have a Wall of Triumph, just like all these other businesses are doing, for several reasons, right? It builds authority, it builds credibility, but it also helps with membership retention, which is not something that's discussed very often. If you're on video right now, you can see my dog's in the background, and he seems to be a little hyper. But it's massive for member retention, which isn't something you hear often, right? But if you're a member and all of a sudden the gym owner, the staff, they're recognizing you for your excellence, right? For the fact that you've been working hard, been attending classes regularly, been eating better, and that you're getting results, it's really nice to feel recognized, for that, right? And that's something that big box gyms do not do, right? They don't do a wall of triumph. They don't do before and after photos because they don't care about their individual gym members. It's a numbers game, right? Big gyms operate off numbers. It's a volume of members at a low price. Small gym owners, you should care. We know you do care, but you need to show that you actually care about your individual members. You need to honor them with awards, little t-shirts, little gifts when they hit certain milestones. And as quickly as possible, you need to get them up on the wall of triumph. So, at that 2-month marker, that 3-month marker, sometimes where you normally see a lot of churn rate, if that individual has been getting results, get them on the wall of triumph, even if they didn't lose a ton of weight, but they were actively in your gym 3 or 4 times a week, right? Get them up on the wall of triumph for their effort and stuff, and let them know they're a part of the community. So it's big for member retention. And what we want to show you guys here is, again, some small gyms, they do the before and after photos, and normally that's the extent of it. But like those chiropractors, the chiropractors do this so well. What we recommend you do is a couple things. We're really after a before and after photo and a little bit of a background story. It only needs to be about 2 or 3 sentences long. But in this example here, we have before and after photo, and then it just says this guy's name, Brian Schatz, 31 years old, didn't think he had the time. His motivation is his 3-year-old daughter. So what this does here, right, is that any prospect that comes into your gym and they're browsing your wall of triumph, and if you don't have space for a wall of triumph, then you need to do a really, really nice binded booklet, or basically binder, that you hand to your prospect and tell them, please spend 10 minutes going through this. But what this does, besides just before and after photo, is it gives the background story, right? Because everybody in their head, no matter what they're trying to achieve, whether it's business, health, relationships, the 3 main categories, there's always a reason in their head why they can't achieve it, or why the situation is outlandish for them, right? And so, gym owners, they always say it's because I have bad staff. I'm in a bad location. It's because I have too much competition. It's because I wasn't trained. There's always an excuse, no matter industry or what we're doing as humans. That's natural. So, but what's so cool about this is every potential member has an excuse of why they can't lose weight or why they can't gain muscle, right? And it has something to do with their genetics, or it's they don't have the time to work out, or it's because their significant other always has such amazing food lying around the house they don't have an option, or it's because they're at their work, they're forced to go take clients out to dinner every night and have wine and steak and all these lavish meals. There's always an excuse. So if you do the before and after photos and actually include the background story of all these people and how they triumph through that, then it's just massive sales power for you, and it will help convert more of those prospective gym members without you even having to sell them as much, because they're going to look at this wall and they're going to find the one that will stick out to them. The one story that will stick out to them is the individual who has the same excuse as them, but made it through, right? And so that's why you want to do the background story. Make sure you include that in there. But that's it for this one, guys. We just wanted to make this a short one, but a powerful one. Very easy to take action on this, but the wall of triumph, you got to have it either literally on your wall or in a booklet. It does it does a ton for, again, prospective sales, and then also member retention. So that's it, guys. Again, this is Dino Gomez from Gym Authority 365, where we help gym owners become the CEOs of a wildly successful business. If you guys like this episode and you're listening on iTunes, go ahead and smash the subscribe button so you never miss an episode. Otherwise, if you guys want a ton of free strategies and tips on how to grow your gym, just visit gymauthority365.com. All right, until next time, guys, stay CEO, and we'll talk to you then.